think we are live, so let's check quickly.
I think, yes, I see it here. Let's just wait for the YouTube. I'm going to do. I see YouTube being live. I see Twitter being live as well. Let me just share
Yeah, we just
all
want
of
to
these
quickly share the
links.
links
And
hopefully audio is working. If not, I just give up and go log Eve.
YouTube being live. I see Twitter being live as well. I can hear myself. All of these links.
Yeah,
Oh
I can
no.
hear us both.
Oh no, but I can hear myself like from, I think, from somewhere. Like echo type of situation.
Classic.
But maybe it was just like at the beginning I cannot hear myself anymore, so maybe it's all good. Maybe it's all good. 1 second. Let us know if you can hear us. I think it should be all good. I'm just going to pause this thing. And we can do it. So, 1 second. Yeah, I can kind of hear myself a little bit, but not like all the time. But I just hear like a little bit of echo for whatever reason, which I have no idea where it's coming from though.
No, it's from my laptop that is next to my microphone. So I'm just checking if it's working. So if people
But
can
these are
hear
like
me.
headphones, right?
Dude, fuck me.
No, I think it should be good. Like I hear like like 1 or 2 words and then it just goes silent. There is no reason for spend another 15 minutes just trying to fix something which is not, I think, that bad anyway. Okay, hi guys. Welcome to the next stream. We are going to be live for about 60 minutes. Runner posted also a link on YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitter, I think YouTube has slightly better video quality, but it's both of these are more or less the same. So before jump into things, the streams as always are sponsored by BonkBot. So if you like the streams, if you want us to continue, you can check out. You can use the link posted in the comments. Obviously, it's a referral link, so we are going to make some kickback on the volume, but you are also going to show some love and support on the streams. So with all of this being said, let's just start. We can talk about the coins now. Yeah, we had quite a week. I think last time we streamed, the Bitcoin was around 95K, so it was before we had this big leg up. Yeah, so I didn't really get much of that, to be quite fair and transparent. Like I said, I got out from my longs around 98K, 97K. I was looking for a little bit of a deeper pullback. Then now we had this second leg up, and yeah, it's been kind of, obviously we are trending up, but I think Bitcoin is once again doing this like a very classic type of price action when basically when it's trending, it moves like for 2 days, for 1 or 2 days, where you have like a really big move, and then it's kind of goes sideways for a week or so, and everyone just getting chopped out basically in this kind of range bound environment. So yeah, I think we are we are quite close to the all-time high. Yeah, it's like 5-6% from the all-time high. We are at this kind of a range high. You have also there on the chart. I think if you would like draw like a volume profile over this whole sideways kind of price action since, let's say, mid-November till now. I don't think it's necessary, but I think the value area high would be sitting around that part as well. So we are at the resistance. At the same time, I think Bitcoin has been strong. It showed basically. Obviously, we had a little bit of a sell off at the beginning of the year, in the first quarter, but at the same time, I think the most kind of recent price action, with all the tariff stuff and everything, showed pretty strong resilience. Across the board, we held up quite good when the S&P sold off, and then obviously had this rally. I don't know. I don't feel like I feel obviously I feel like that it's a little bit of overextended at this point. We had a lot of OI
Classic
coming in.
European.
Yeah, we had a lot of open interest coming in these last 2-3 weeks. There are some signs for me of possible like a little bit of exhaustion, but I'm not personally a big fan of just trying to short this.
I have
At the
I opened
moment,
sorry to interrupt you. I just opened the tweet you posted earlier today. Just if you wanna comment on
yeah,
that,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Yeah. Basically, like I mentioned in the tweet, there's a bunch of open interest coming in. Some of these spot order books, which kind of act as this underlying, supply and demand based on markets like Bitcoin is pretty hard to like for altcoins you can just post size and never do anything about it, but when it comes to Bitcoin and especially spot, you really need to have some money to like be visible there. So in like a large magnitude. So usually when you have like a big skew, big like ratio differences on the spot order books, you tend to see those act as support and resistance, and we had a little bit of that after the second leg up. I think like for example, funding is still pretty okay-ish. It's not like super overheated. Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of shorting this. Maybe if we would make new all-time highs, and had like a much bigger overshoot, then I would maybe consider to go short. But yeah, I think this is just not the place for me to just ape into new longs. I guess. But yeah, overall, I think Bitcoin is just pretty looking good. It's performing pretty well overall this year. Obviously, the S&P, Nasdaq and most of the stocks basically are back to like March open prices, which is basically where this huge sell started. So yeah, it's like this kind of a nothing ever happens meme. But yeah, I think markets overall are looking pretty good. Like I said, I am not super interested in shorting this right now, but I just think it's a little bit too extended for me to just buy to ape into like fresh leverage positions right now.
Yeah, I mean, not much to be said. I think we're still in a range. We both made that, I guess, mistake or European move. Nothing, not really surprising to be fully out or mostly out by mid-range, which is like the 96, 95 range, right? I ended
Yeah,
up
yeah.
relonging Solana, but for later.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously in hindsight, was probably better to hold. Yeah, for Solana, Sol has been doing also quite well. I was truly hoping when it was at this 150 part, which was basically when Bitcoin was at the mid range, I think. I was really hoping for like a little bit of it, the deeper pullback, like 130s, 30s, but never got that. So classic sidelined cope now.
But with
But yeah,
Bitcoin,
and
maybe before we move to alt, a few things I think worth mentioning, or the usual mentions. ETFs, been buying a lot. I mean, I guess we can move on. Not that much. They've been buying Bitcoin a lot, not ETH. Even though we'll probably talk about ETH, we'll have to. I'll have to show us Ethereum chart. But what is very, I think, interesting if the website loads is MicroStrategy. They obviously last week reloaded, or 2 weeks ago now, reloaded effectively $21 billion worth of selling MicroStrategy stock and buying Bitcoin, and we already seen a first purchase. what is it, Thursday today? So just a few days ago, they announced 1.3 billion out of 21, so that is like 6.3% spent. So, you know, just contextually, we have again, Sailor is buying, ETFs are buying, and also, not sure if you've seen this. Have you seen the 21 company?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they bought, they announced like a $500 million purchase from Tether. So, you know, and even Metaplex, like the Japanese MicroStrategy, they bought like 130 mil. You know, when you start adding up these scraps, even though it doesn't sound like that much money compared to Sailor, it actually almost eclipses Sailor. So just something to always, I think, remember. These guys just continue buying Bitcoin, and just think it's important to always keep an eye on. Agree with you. Everything, all the risk assets are back above the Liberation Day, which was April 2nd. So Nasdaq, S&P, everything is just in very close proximity to all-time highs.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, we basically retraced everything. It's been it's been quite a eventful 2 months. I think obviously that all of the trade talk stuff and everything, it's kind of over, at least when it comes to like the big news and all of these things. So yeah, I think it's really interesting spot right now for I think Bitcoin, for the S&P as well. We are basically kind of testing those areas where we have sold off from originally. So yeah, like you can say that they are at some kind of resistance now, but I don't know. I'm always a little bit skeptical. Selling something which like dies down very quickly and then just teleports back basically within the next couple weeks basically. So it's been really volatile. A lot of the it's so over, we are so back type of conditions now. So yeah, I think we can just jump into altcoins. Talk about your favorite market of all time, the Ethereum, because that's probably performed the best, right, over the like considering not mentioning some of these like meme coins that did quite a bit, but from like a Sol, BTC, ETH really did pretty good.
Yeah, it's actually when you look at the my favorite type of post, which all basically last 12 months post the classic Binance screenshot, the list from Binance top losers. But if you look at top gainers, past few weeks, you basically have like a very small select coin. Like my English is not English. Like there's like 20 coins doing insanely well, which might be up 5 to 20, 10x. I believe Mudeng is like the strongest. So they're now only down minus 74% if you look at them. But I think there's a big dispersion because a lot of altcoins are obviously strong. A lot of altcoins massively outperformed Bitcoin and ETH, but a lot of like absolute majority obviously still in the shit. So I guess we have to mention ETH as much as it is my personal 9/11. Do you have any thoughts on ETH?
Well, I mean, it's been like we got these news. Like I saw someone like buying a lot or whatever in these last
access. I have everything
days.
ready.
Yeah. I think you are much more educated to talk about that. But yeah, I mean, it's like ETH has been just going down so much, and just getting like I think something like this was basically kind of a matter of time. Where you get these type of squeezes. Obviously, like there are coins that just go to like perpetual to zero, but obviously ETH is still the second biggest coin, and it's been just getting so much hate in last couple of months. Yeah, so yeah, it's been pretty impressive. I was not long. That's probably the only thing that I truly care about, and I'm kind of pissed about this. Like I wasn't trying to short this, but
because you tend to you've like historically we've been streaming now for a few years. You've used to be a person who would sometimes long ETH, right? Like I was the guy basically saying zero, but you're actually like logging sometimes.
Yeah. No. Yeah, like I used to do it quite a bit. Like, I mean, I don't really, I have this kind of like overall thing that I just don't really care all that much. I know, like, I don't really follow much of a, quote unquote fundamentals. I know, like, everyone shits on the E Foundation and on what Vitalik is doing, but like, I don't really follow all that stuff. I don't really care, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, I just kind of trade the things that I see. But yeah, for ETH, I didn't have a much of a trade signal. Or, to be fair, I had like, when I was basically longing BTC around this kind of a April 10th, around 80K area, I got very similar kind of signal to long ETH and Sol as well, which tends to be the case since all of these things are um, correlated anyway. But yeah, maybe a little bit of a mistake on my end, but I just decided basically to get like a bigger Bitcoin position. In the spite of just probably also being in this kind of camp that ETH is just perpetually underperforming or whatnot. But yeah, so I just decided to go with Bitcoin. Obviously, Bitcoin did quite well as well, so I'm not like butthurt or anything. But yeah, the ETH had a quite a move. Um, it's interesting though. Like, I like ETH chart and ETH price section and like everything about ETH is just like very kind of unclean and hectic oftentimes. And there has been this kind of a situation where after the Athena basically was kind of messing it with the open interest on it as well. So I felt a little bit like my edge is being lost in these kind of a uh, more unique characteristics that ETH had, and overall ETH price action has been just kind of mess. So I don't know, but this is for me. This to be quite fair is just like for like a lot of the altcoins. I truly feel like my edge is in trading Bitcoin, and then once you go to the like a lower coins, which obviously much easier can be manipulated much easier, or like the size is not size with a lot of these, and you just can like do a bunch of damage with a few 100K. It's quite hard for me to trade some of these things. So I usually just trade kind of like a momentum when I have a bias on Bitcoin, to be fair. For ETH, I don't know, like maybe you can jump in and cover the buying and the all of these things, then we can get back to the chart.
I do think, as I do with everything, and people call it coping, but I do like to see like where the stuff, some of these moves have start. I think big pivotal point, or like what led to ETH doing well, is, I guess we can also talk about ETH BTC a little bit, but basically Bitcoin was slightly going down. While, so usually when you had you can, everybody can vouch for, who has Brain and TradingView account can vouch. So when Bitcoin went down, ETH would go down a lot more. That was, like every time we even had this joke, right? If you don't know what trade to take, short ETH. But there was like this month of sideways action
Yeah.
at ETH BTC, which resulted in, here I have it, this month since April, from basically the Liberation Day, which was very unusual. It's gonna sound weird, but unusual strength by ETH not underperforming, which is, but you had that consolidation. So that, I think, in hindsight, obviously, so easy to say, but has been one thing. And then obviously the Spectra upgrade. Have you seen that at
Yeah.
all, or?
Yeah.
So it's like May 8th or 7th, I believe. It was fully live. So there's a bunch of updates. Me and you are not the people to judge like the technical consequences of better UX, better UI, one click confirmation of transaction. You don't have all these signatures and whatnot, and a bunch of other stuff.
So you can get drained quicker.
Man, that tweet, did you see the tweet I retweeted? I
Yeah.
died laughing.
I saw that.
But TLDR, without any like bias or emotion, it was, from my understanding, from ETH community's perspective, biggest upgrade, or like upgrade to ETH since ETH going turning on the burn, in September 2022.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of interesting because ETH BTC, and this type of post would do like 1 billion likes, but if BTC is down only since September 2022, because that was the big upgrade, and we bottomed on Pectra, which was a big upgrade.
Yeah.
Oh, but 3,000 likes, like and retweet for more content like this. No, but a lot of the buying was this funny like London-based entities who has offices in Monaco, is very well connected to Tether. Just like I went kind of deep, but entity called Abraxas Capital. They're mostly delta neutral, so I've seen people already say call me a faggot again for just asking questions, like a classic. But they are shorting quite a lot of ETH, Bitcoin, Sol, and Hyperliquid, right? So they are in some sort of way, shape, or form hedging these longs. But TLDR, they're buying a lot of ETH on Binance. That's it. You can see it even in the order flow. And this kind of, honestly, that's kind of it. And obviously, look, it was due to happen probably, but people said that for 2 years before somebody jumps the gun and like, oh, you're so washed. How did you not see it? Like, remember, me and you stream now for almost 3 years, actually. It's kind of insane. And ever since we started streaming, people were calling for ETH outperformance. So would you personally buy ETH, and like at what level is there like or will you stick to Bitcoin as a boomer? TradFi just opened.
Yeah, well, I mean, like my kind of thinking and the way that I have been trading, especially ever since, I kind of switched to this like higher time frame, holding stuff for longer type of situation, right? I think one thing which doesn't change that I need to have a bias for Bitcoin to get long. Obviously, in these last like two years, basically every time I, like you always have these like flavor of week, month, whatever coins, right? And I think that's probably one of the best things you can do, or at least something that I do. When I long, Bitcoin, where I have a bullish bias on the Bitcoin, like that has to be like a first step for me. Like Bitcoin genuinely has to be at some like a level where I think it's going higher from, and obviously it's a little bit easier since I am swing trading now. The level doesn't have to be like that precise. Like it can just like if I want to see Bitcoin going up, it can just not go down for the time being. If it goes sideways, sometimes altcoins also perform well. But yeah, when I have like a long bias on Bitcoin, I genuinely try to like get some exposure in these higher beta altcoins. I don't really go and buy something like super illiquid, which has a lot of crime baked in and all of that. But for me, these past 2 years, it's been Solana. I think for you as well, and I think for like most people as well, it's been Sol, and ETH has been in this kind of like a down only, just pain state of a lot of people just trying to long this and just getting burned. And obviously right now ETH rallied like 50%, I think, in this last week, or what it was, yeah, like 50%. And
I'm gonna
like
pull it up, actually.
yeah, and obviously right now I already saw like ETH to $8,000 tweets on timeline, which is fine. And I mean, I'm all for that, and I'm all for going long ETH, but I want to see this to kind of continue and just not to be this just one type thing, and now we are just going to start dying again, and there's going to be no signs of strength. So I think for me, what I will do with this kind of thing in mind, I think Sol ETH dumped quite a bit as well. Obviously ETH outperformed. Since the move was so significant, you cannot like deny that it was pretty big move, and we like retraced all the way down to like this 1500 area, which was like big support as well, and like weekly and the time frame. So I think what I'm going to do, like if we get a pullback, I might go long ETH to see if this was true at the bottom, and this kind of buying was anything else rather than just this getting molested for 3 years straight, and now it had just this, like a very much a squeeze rally, and there's going to be just more pain coming in. But yeah, like after a move like this, I'm always down to get hurt again. And if I'm going to get hurt again, then it's just piece of shit, and I'm not going to touch it anymore.
I mean, bro,
But
if ETH goes down again, nobody will even be surprised and nobody will be angry. It's just gonna be silence and nobody, even I'll shut the fuck up, and it will just be like
no,
it's just like a little
I know
nod,
you
like a
won't.
gentleman's nod.
No, but yeah, it's interesting to see. I don't know. It's like overall, I just feel like this move, like it was pretty impressive. Like even Bitcoin, Bitcoin rallied basically 40% from the lows. So the things that I would love to see, to be like really kind of more confident this has actually like more likes is like if Bitcoin like make new all-time highs and didn't die and just make basically flipped this like a range high, whatever you want to call this like 105k level basically into the new support. But yeah, right now I'm just like a little bit more cautious because I think stuff just rallied a lot overall. So yeah, that's pretty much my view there.
But it's interesting because I have here, it's pretty, I gotta say, not because I'm affiliated or whatnot, but when you look at the large caps performance of past month, just to go back to what you said, ETH is up plus 59% and Sol is plus 31, which is quite unusual for literally 2 cycles almost. That is.
Yeah.
However, Sui is plus 73, so I guess, always someone's,
Yeah.
what is the saying? Someone's garden is better than yours or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I think like you need to, like you just still need to, look at like the liquidity and all of these things. When we are comparing these coins, like Mudeng being up 800% is cool, but also like at the lowest, like how much you could actually, get in with like, being able to sleep calmly that you have like a huge position in fucking Mudeng. So
Well, I think it's just honestly at this point it's just completely different cohort of people than me and you are. I guess we would be called boomers, washed. On the contrary, what was Mudeng market cap at the lows? Like you could buy $5,000 and move the price. You can call them 10 Sol and a dreamers. It's pointless. Mudeng did go up, fuck ton. If somebody caught it, GG. If somebody holds it and thinks it goes, I've seen people say Mudeng to 1.5 bill, and I'm just thinking, are you retarded? But
yeah, I mean, lot of these things. I think a lot of these altcoins and these
it's
moves.
not even altcoins, sir. It's a shitcoin.
Yeah, but like a lot of these things, you just need to trade intraday. I think it's almost like it's very unlikely that you are going to, like Mudeng rally from like 0.04 where it spent like 2-3 months. I don't think that many people were like accumulating there and thinking this is a good project type of situation. So yeah, like obviously, some people will buy at the lows, but it's very rare to see someone who has like conviction in this and buying at like the Pico bottoms and be like, yeah, this thing is going to rally 700%. That's not really a likely thing you're going to see. So one thing that you can obviously do is that just wait for this initial leg up, because a lot of these altcoins, they tend to have more than one legs. I think it's often caused by the sheer fact that when you have favorable conditions, which obviously all of this happening on like a although that's not actually true. Like Bitcoin is pretty much nothing over those days. So, but you can say that we had like a favorable conditions. Like market was up, and I saw some people being back in the trenches as well. So I think one of the
I have the question about have you seen the?
Yeah.
I don't even know what the name is of the meta, but like launching a scam coin, it's different than a meme coin. It's something like intellectual.
Yeah, you can like launch stuff from tweets or something like that, right? Some the belief thing.
Man, even I'm not paying attention to that. It just
Yeah.
But I think what is maybe just sorry, 2 sentences from me on that topic. I think it is not surprising to me that when you look at to be constructive for me, even though the biggest hater of altcoins is the top gainers are always meme coins. So if you want to play that, I don't want to say spot and chill, but like if you wanna, if maybe you have a smaller portfolio and you're kind of you probably are better off trying to pick or bottom some of these shit coins with low market cap than ETH.
No,
I
I
would
mean
never ever do it
that's
myself, but like, hey, if you wanna, if you're not on chain or like on BonkBot, fucking sniping, whatever, bundling coins and doing other crime, you should probably. By the way, we're fucking dumping. What's happening?
yeah, no, I mean it's like I used to actually when I started to trade altcoins more because I was, and I actually DM'd you about this, like I think it's like beginning of end of 2021, 22 or something like that. I was never really trading altcoins at all. I was, when I was day trading, I was only trading BTC. And then when I started trading alts, was one of the things which I was doing was basically just looking for things, and it's very this kind of popular spaghetti chart type of situation. I wasn't using like price changes, but I was trying to use more of like order flow stuff, like open interest. Looking at like funding rates, because funding rates go all the batshit crazy when you have these like initial leg ups, and look at it like, but basically you are just trying to find things that moved a lot and kind of decide if they are going to move a lot more or they are going to basically fade down and mean revert. And I think one of the reasons why a lot of these things, and obviously the mood stuff is pretty crazy because it did like 1000% over just a few days, but yeah, like you see, I think for most people, and I think what I think is a little bit more kind of sensible as well is just like wait for these things to have these like first initial leg ups and then try to kind of either like you can be like long only, so you might just buy these breakouts, like most of them are going to fail. These things tend to revert a lot, especially if it's like news driven or whatever, but I don't think that like there was any news with Mudang. The hippo is still alive, I assume. So, but yeah, like when you have these like moves pretty much out of the nowhere, these I think have like a higher likelihood of just continuing to the upside, especially because people will fade them a lot more as well.
Yeah. Somebody's asking if I'm still shorting Trump. Yes, I think that is. How I'm trading is probably the easiest trade I've seen in almost this year, probably. So it's a literal nothing. It's like, I think if you trade these type of setups, which is buy the rumors, sell the news, and you're not trading this, I think you should fucking check yourself at a doctor. Because the Trump dinner thing.
Yeah.
So it's coming up, and I've heard a lot of smart people say the Trump team of advisors are motivated, that they're smart and sharper. I have to disagree. What they've been doing. So let me find Trump meme. I have them like on notifications. It's hilarious, man. They're launched like some loyalty thingy, and if man, just like everything you see, you're like, bro, these people missed a cycle. So and they said they have basically massive announcement for Trump holders on 22nd on the dinner. So, I expect some sort of spike on a headline and then just down only. And if you're overall bullish, maybe Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, which understandably so, you can have this as like your short leg of your pair trade, if you will, right? So let's say you want to long a basket Bitcoin, Sol, ETH, short Trump as a short, like as your hedge. I mean, so yes, I've basically all I've done last few weeks just shorting Trump over and over again. It's been very, very how do you call it? Like good to me, good setup.
European.
Yeah. But I mean, the last cycle summer we did short all the Shiba, XRP conference, XLM conference, all these biggest news ever headlines are always a disappointment, and I think there is no easier setup than this.
Yeah. And I think this is not like the first time as well. Like there was this like dinner for NFT holders. I believe back in the day, it's just like a kind of thing, and usually these really tend to fade a lot. So I think that's pretty good setup. Yeah. So what else? I think like overall, I think about the meme coin. Like meme coins, yeah, they are just for whatever reason always do the best. I think it's just what people really care about.
I just think it's reality is as much as we might personally disagree with that is the fact that they can really give you a high percentage or even like multiples return. And I do hear that argument, hey, I have fucking 10k in crypto. I'm not gonna turn it into millions trading Bitcoin. I think I disagree. You can, but it actually requires some skill. While on
Yeah,
chain, you're just
it's
hoping for
tough.
the best.
Yeah, it's tough. Although I would maybe say that trading Bitcoin would be still easier than like pump fun.
Well, not if you're
But
in part of the group of the what do you call them,
yeah, obviously, but
bundlers and
like,
scammers.
but you are probably not. Like people are probably not. I think I have been here for a long time, and no one ever invited me to any kind of like a pump and dump group. So where are my 10 figures? I've been waiting for this the whole time. Maybe it's
Oh,
because
this
my
is a
DMs
call
are
for
closed.
help.
But
We don't want us to
yeah,
grow
yeah.
more. Invite us
If
to.
you are planning some financial crimes, feel free to hit me up. But no, I mean, yeah. Like I think it's there are
Jesus.
definitely ways. There are definitely ways to go through, and I think there are even like a smart. There is like a smarter approach um, to all of this on-chain stuff. Once again, it's not probably the one that you are going to make which you will turn one soul into millions. But yeah, every time I did, I'm sorry, every time I traded on chain last year, to be fair, not much this year. I just always kind of looked at the stuff which has proven to not be like complete, dump and just trade this kind of like initial momentum. But right now it still feels like it's very short lived. There's not like a one kind of given meta that has been going on. Like there are no new meme coins. I think at least.
No, there are these new, as I said, if somebody maybe in the audience can guide us with the name, but it's like I see something, like three letters, ICM or IMC type of. I've seen it. It's basically the idea is that you have like Web2 people launching coins. It's literally just launching meme coins, but it's the new meta has a name, and when I seen it, okay, it's one of those. I also try to. We've been around for a few years now. We kind of know what we like, what we don't
CM.
like, aka washed and boomer. But I know I would never trade these coins. Like, so why bother my time?
Yeah, no, I mean it's tough because I genuinely think
ICM
that
people say internet capital
yeah, yeah.
markets. Yes, that's it. I still don't know what it is,
Um,
but
it's yeah for like a lot of people. I think when like we can argue that in these conditions when the trenches are not that hot, I would maybe say that trading stuff like Bitcoin it's actually easier and more sort of less brain damaging. But obviously there are periods of time when even I was able to make money on chain, and
yeah, I
I
was gonna
am
say you
probably like
actually. I
a
know you did well. You don't disclose any
yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
but I know you
I
did
did
well. You
well,
did
and
very well.
like I did well based on like tweets. Like I I didn't get like I'm not
Just
in
mid to
any of
insider
these like
trading, man.
yeah, no, no. Like I said, I'm open to join, but I actually am not in any like a tight group circles and stuff like that. I'm quite antisocial. I don't really speak to too many people overall. Um, but yeah, I actually did quite well last year, and most of the stuff that I bought was just like I saw something on Twitter, and it was
So
doing
Adam is
pretty well. So
laughing
I
as this
bought.
Bitcoin swing trader while he made most of his money on chain trading shitcoins, copy trading people on Twitch for Twitter.
Uh, so yeah, I think like there are conditions for that when these things are like super easy. Um, but it's kind of tough because I think just a lot of people just
Oof.
really go for this like a new launch sniping where the things that worked for me were more like, you buy something which is like has like a couple million market cap, so it looks like it's not going to just die immediately, and then it goes to like 100 mil, but obviously for that, like now if something goes to 100 million market cap, you see everyone kind of talking about it. It's like a biggest celebration ever, but you need to be in conditions where 100 million market cap is basically nothing, right? So yeah, those I think are kind of the better conditions than what we might have now. Bitcoin is dying,
I mean,
or
I rather shut up because people will call me Hitler again or something. Uh, Look, I think there is a very nice tool in TradingView, Alpha for you guys. If price is going down, you click Control or Shift. What is it? Shift I. I'm washed. Alt I. Alt plus letter I. E like invisible, and its chart is always going up. So.
yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty
I'm
pretty
actually
glad
kind
that
of
I
worried about my soul, but
wasn't that aggressive these last couple days.
I think it's
Um,
TradFi mostly, just following S&P.
yeah,
It's
I
actually pretty
think
hard
yeah.
to talk with you and speak in foreign language while looking at the chart and then trying to speak over it. My brain just goes into.
But the S&P, to be quite fair, S&P is not really that dying that much. I think it's shifted a little bit in these last few days. I think the stocks, although it's Bitcoin still did very well on the stock rally days, but yeah, it's tough. Like I think this is I think I see a lot of kind of opposite views at this point. Some people obviously just saying this is lower high. Some people are saying we are going much higher.
160K.
Yeah, I am not going to. I just don't have a strong bias here at the moment. So I'm just going to let other people argue, but definitely, like I said, I wouldn't really open those longs too aggressively.
I've seen an
If
argument that I
anything.
think does make sense, even though not to macro larp too much. But US made a deal with China, they made a deal with UK and whatnot, right? So all the tariffs is basically, as you said, nothing ever happens. Just 6 weeks later, by the way, which is hilarious. Remember Trump standing
Yeah.
there with his little fucking printed book with numbers to basically no tariffs. And I've seen an argument, which I do agree makes sense. All the tariff shit benefits TradFi more. If you drop the tariffs, it's
Hmm.
gonna benefit more TradFi than internet coins. And I
Yeah.
think on the opposite, when you have these insane tariffs, people, they flee into gold, which is dumping too, even though now it's kind of green again. But um, I mean, I don't find it very productive, right? I know you're swing trading, but I'm day trading Trump coin. I don't think I need to worry much about consequences of India
Yeah.
Pakistan
Yeah.
conflict and implications on export of silver. Like, okay, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. The news are always kind of like the most kind of polarizing and the most thing which people love to talk about, but at the end of the day, it's just mostly for the talks rather than getting like a much of a actionable idea. So, anyone has Abraxus Hyperliquid wallet not seeing any activity from the two and above?
Oh no, there
Do you
are,
know that?
there are.
I think Runner shared some Arkham
No, there are,
dashboard.
there. If you look at my Twitter, I've shared it was somebody saying sideline. Bro, these type of fucking people, when you always look at their Twitter, have like retweeting airdrop fucking posts, celebrating 2 Solana PNL. Shut the fuck up and fuck off.
It's it's funny that
Some
like
pussy
it can
people.
genuinely like makes you mad. Yeah. Um,
But
um,
Alessandro, the decent question. When you look at, you go to Argham, type in Abraxas, you look at the inflows of ETH, for example. So filter here ETH. You look at the and here's the wallet. See if this, right? So you click copy and you just put it into Hyperscan or whatever it's called. They're short like $500 million worth of coins, which would explain your delta neutral. So it's, if anything, I can after stream look at it and help you find them, but it's all public. It's not some.
Yep.
It's nobody's gatekeeping
Okay.
anything.
Okay. So, do you guys have any other questions, any other coins that you are watching? Something that we might be missing? Because I think we have covered a bunch of things. I think the kind of a conclusion for this week was, it's not looking bad, but it's also kind of extended at this point. So if anyone wants to know anything, feel free.
And what has been very interesting to me is how many new listings we've had on Binance, which I still consider this like main venue for new launches. Have you, like, there's like genuinely 2 a day, 2 new listings.
Yeah, I saw. I'm going to be quite honest. I have been, very, especially during a lot of this like a tariff stuff. I mentioned a bunch of times I trade TradFi a lot, and I was kind of more than busy enough to look at the house coin and launch coin and goon coin and all of these new things. So yeah, I'm like very out of the scope of like a new coins that has launched. So yeah.
Oof. One thing that does stand out is, remember how Solaire coin went basically up when everything in the market went down, but it went up only.
Yeah.
And ever since the strength started, it's just down only. It's fucking sad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of these coins like Mantra, which never recovered.
Okay, so someone is asking about like day trading stuff. I think you can trade. I think for day trading you don't want to be trading that many markets. Or like people generally just. I think altcoin day trading is a lot of like penny stocks trading, where people just just look at what's basically moves for a given day and trade that, or you can just trade BTC. I think. It's truly up to you what kind of suits you better. You need to
There's
decide.
stuff
I
you
don't
can
know.
use. There's lots of like dashboards or links
Yeah,
where you can look at top
definitely.
gainers. So I can show you one way to look at. I don't know. Let's do top gainers last 24 hours, and you just have
And
all
even
these
like
coins.
I see people, I know like a lot of people do this stuff like on chain as well, where there's like a bunch of screeners and terminals these days anyway, where you can just basically just buy stuff on chain, but do not trying to hold it for generational wealth, but rather have this like a more like a scalping day trading
Yeah,
approach
but
to
there's
it, where
stuff
you
to
just
do, 1000%. I just want to make sure, just because
yeah.
we don't do it, that there's nothing to do. Absolutely is. It's just I cannot see
I
myself
think
trading
volatility. I think
coins with.
volatility in crypto. I think volatility is uh the volatility in crypto is definitely going to be there always, and there's been like a lot of things happening. So yeah, there's like definitely a lot of stuff you can do on like day-to-day basis. Obviously, I think even if I would be day trading, it was very silly idea for me to anytime I basically shared like something like on a very much a short-term basis, so I wouldn't probably want to speak about that anyway, since stuff is changing a lot and all of that. But I think crypto overall is like pretty good, and like you can do a lot of stuff. Just need to kind of find the niche or the whatever you kind of feel like is the best for you.
And I don't know why that's such a controversial take. I know a lot of very smart people who, do like fucking arbitrage shit. Some people do, not anymore NFTs, but like there's so much stuff you can do. It's like saying in real world that all of us have to be, I don't know, accountant or, so, and there's everything. I know, like, you used to day trade. You fucking burned out, and you have life. You have like a real productive job now. So it doesn't fit your lifestyle. Therefore, you swing trade more now, right? You like, I think it's totally normal, and like the NFT traders also had to move on, right? Like NFTs are completely dead. I assume a lot of these people just went all the way on chain, and which is fine, but still stands the argument. It's like day trading Bitcoin is here to stay, probably.
Yeah, replay should be available after the stream ends on both YouTube and Twitter. By the way, someone's asking. Yeah, someone's mentioning the AVAX trade in the Telegram. Yeah, that's basically kind of the thing why I really don't like to share these things, because like with swing trades, is you can just you like give things more room. It's like people don't really it's harder to fuck up, and it's easier to share because obviously it just like takes time and all of that. But yeah, like sharing like day trades and then just closing the trade a couple of minutes later because it doesn't work out, it's much different and not the best thing to do publicly. Which
and also, who gives a shit? Like, are you getting me coming from you literally working in a prop shop business and me working at a prop/fund, like, if you're not getting anything from it for being right, like on hyperliquid vault you get like 10% payback or something. So you make $1 million, you get 10%. That makes sense to be like, and it's public, right? You don't have to tweet about it. But if it's just for likes on Twitter, like, who the fuck cares? Like, why would you bother? Then you have 10 suicidal people. Oh, Adam, I copy traded you. I foolishly trusted Abetrade. Now I lost everything.
Yeah,
it's just no risk reward there. Zero.
True. Okay. Well, I think we have been, it's been almost an hour. We covered most of the things. To kind of make a TLD out of the stream, like I said, for me, I think I would rather kind of wait here. Probably try to buy lower, or sell higher. But right now, it's just like very kind of indecisive, a little bit bearish for me personally, but we will see.
New Binance listing just today, instant minus 50%. Have a good day. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Once again, shout out to BonkBot for sponsoring the streams. If you like them, make sure to use the links that are going to be posted once more before we cut things for today. So yeah,